Hey, I'm Naya. Welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I decided to show you my updated Prank Kids deck profile because I truly plan on playing them in the upcoming format because I feel like they're going to be one of the best decks, especially with the Brave engine that was just made legal with Grand Creators dropping here in the TCG and with the new ban list. So we're on the 5th today, so in 2 days it's also official. It brought skill drain and a lot of things and changes, and that's why I think Prank Kids are going to be a deck you truly need to look out for. I have updated my build and I can't wait to show it to you. So here we have it on DB. Obviously I have my computer in front of me and I will be using a mouse, but hopefully I will not make the camera shake too much because I do realize it shook in my previous video and I should have probably addressed that somehow when I saw it in editing later on. But yeah, basically it's shaking because my computer is not exactly on a steady setup, and if it's bouncing up and down and it looks like I'm bouncing up and down, I'm sorry about that, and I will really try my hardest to not make my setup shake anymore, so I apologize for that. Alright, so this is the build that you see in front of you, and this is something I'm most comfortable with at this moment in time, but it's not to say that this is something you definitely should be running with these cards, with these ratios, and it's also not to say that I won't be changing it throughout the format and after even more testing. So let's get right into it. Basically, first, here we have the entire Brave package or the Adventurer package with three Water Enchantress, with 3 Rite of Aramesir, and one of each of the other cards. So the Negate, the Equip spell, and also Fateful Adventure. As for the Prank Kids, I decided to cut Roxy's down to 2, just because usually with this ratio of names, you see them often enough and you also have the field spell, and I'm satisfied with it. I've been playing around obviously with different ratios and playing polymerization in combination with that. Usually how I looked at polymerization, it's not your main play. It's there and it's good. It's an extender and obviously it goes into Toad, but it should not be your main focus is what I'm saying. So this ratio of Prank Kids, I think it works perfectly, but obviously you can play 3 Roxys and there's nothing wrong with that. And in tandem with that, we also have the 3 field spell, 1 pranks. I'm satisfied with only 1. I've played 2 before, but that's when I also ran Desires and I had the chance of actually banishing 1 or both of them. I'm good with 1. You can search it. You can also send it with Pansies, get it back with Doodle. So if you happen to draw one of their 3 spells, you can get all of them in rotation with a combination of Doodle and Pansies and so on. So it's searchable and it's cool. It also got much more important, I think, since you need to recycle Meow Meow if you want to use it again. And then we have 2 polymerization. I touched upon that already. I'm cool with only 2. That's something I should point out. You can test whatever ratio you want. You can test without it, but I like 2 polymerization and they work for me. So there's that. Here I have 3 talents. Talents is really like, I'm a bit iffy on it when it comes to the ratio of 3 talents. I'm afraid of it being too bricky. But somehow I see the sense of running 3 in this particular format, just because hand traps are going to be much more prevalent. And for example, something like Ogre, things like that are starting to pop up here and there. And with Italy coming back and all of that. And overall, I think they will be much better in this format than they were in the previous one. So this sort of justifies running 3 talents. And obviously you get hurt by hand traps, or Ash, I should say, a lot if you don't see the Brave engine, obviously. And why not just have a way of dealing with that? And it goes the same for Called By. Is here because it's called by and it's good. And the 1 Thunder Dragon Fusion. So this is, since you run Anaconda, you have the space to run Anaconda, you can play Thunder Dragon Fusion in tandem with it. Now, you can play the DPE package also, since you run Anaconda anyway for the Thunder Dragon Fusion, and also Thunder Dragon Fusion searches Fancies on the following turn, so this is also nice. As for the DPE package, I will just quickly touch upon it. I just don't see the need for it right now, honestly, and I've mentioned this in comments when people would ask me, like, why don't you just run DPE, you know? And I don't see it being that necessary. You can test with it and it's nice, but I would just much rather run my adventure engine, my prank kit engine, and then utility cards instead of DPE. But that's just personal preference. You can of course run DPE, but it's just how I'm making this work for me personally. So there's that. There's the entire DPE thing, if anyone else is still wondering. And 3 droplet, just because yeah, it's droplet and it's cool, and you can choose between this and chalice and impermanence, and they are all good. They are all useful, but in their respective ways. So you need to look at your format, your preference, and also your budget. You know, I have it right now here in the build because I plan on getting them, but I don't own them yet. So I have no issue with, if I was to go to a tournament tomorrow, I would just play something instead of them. And I'm not talking just about prank kits right now, but any deck. So yeah. And then also the one-offs, I already mentioned Called By, but there's also Instant Fusion and Foolish Burial. So Instant Fusion speaks for itself. It's awesome in prank kits. And with Foolish Burial, it's here because you can send Aquamancer to get to the Rite of Aramesia. So it's just another way to get to that part of your engine, so the negate. So as I'm recording right now and got to the extra deck, I realized that I never swapped out the Linkuriboh for the actual copy of Toad. I just put in polymerization. Just want to quickly say that Linkuriboh was there because it's obviously for a level 1 monster, so the green prank kit to further extend your turn 3 since Meow is now at 1, but of course swap this out with Toad. I will, after, when I'm editing, like put a picture of Toad over there, like edit it in. But right now, we got to this part in the video, Toad should be here, not a Linkuriboh, so that's why it's all edited in. And I just didn't want to re-record everything, just because obviously if polymerization is in the main deck, Toad is in the extra deck, so there's that. Quickly going over the extra deck, very basic, very standard. I just have 1 butler right now. I'm satisfied with only 1 at the moment, but I always test between 1 and 2, and we'll see. Rocket Ride and Weather Washer, and then this entire access code package. I love Phoenix. I should point this out. I think you should play Phoenix if you're playing prank kits, and not to force this on you, but it's just very, very, very good utility. And together with Unicorn and access code, you just go for, you know, easier OTKs. Link Spider is, I feel like, still a good choice, just because you can turn the tokens, either a Nibiru token, Prank Kit token, or the Brave token into Link Spider to go into Anaconda to further extend your plays. 1 Bow Wow, 3 Dodo, and a Meow Meow. Also Repro Ring Roaster. I'm a big fan of this card. And Anaconda to wrap things up. And as for the cards you see here in the side deck, obviously they're not meant to be in the side deck. I just like to put the cards there that I need to talk about, and so that I don't forget. You can see it also on the screen. So Skill Join obviously is at 3 right now. I would probably decide it for going first. However, I don't think I would main it. Same with There Can Be Only One. I'm just a fan of cards that actually like do things when it comes to helping me extend my plays, not just stunning my opponent. But it's how I like to play my decks, and that's completely personal preference. And you can main them if you want. And let me know how that works out for you. I might test it, but you know, we'll see. As for Nemesis Corridor, I think it's a brick. It's a good idea, but to me, it just feels a bit too bricky to, you know, I don't really want to run it. I might test it, but yeah, at the moment, I don't really feel like I want to run it yet or ever. I don't know, just feels too bricky, and I don't think it's that needed, honestly, since you can seal up the game faster. The thing that bothers me is that you only get to use it on like turn 3, and yeah, it's just doesn't feel right to me. And Nibiru and Impermanence are here to just for me to point out. Obviously, I don't know if I mentioned the Ash in the main deck also. It's Ash, it's a hand trap. So yeah. What I wanted to say, obviously you can play any hand trap that suits you, your playstyle, and your format. your deck also, but we're talking about prank kids right now. And these 3 hand traps, so Ash, Impermanence, and Nibiru, would be the ones I would consider if going to a tournament. And obviously, I would need to check out the meta over there and decide accordingly. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this wasn't too long. Hopefully you got something from it. If you did, make sure to give this video a like and give me a sub. Also check out Discord and Twitch, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.